Hi, welcome to the Isolation Podcast number 10. Tonight is our Player of the Year award show, joined by Deborah, Nat, and Shane. So the way it's going to work, guys, is we've all got nominations to put out for everyone. And we're going to start with the Outstanding Achievement Award. Deborah, if you would like to tell everyone the nominations.
I've always wanted to do this and be dressed to the nine. If you haven't got comments up, let's get comments up so that other people can give us their. Just to let you all know, the polls will be going live towards the end of the show, and they're running until the weekend. So make sure you get your votes in. So I should know this off the top of my head. The candidates for the Outstanding Achievement for the 2019-2020 season are as follows: Kirsty Smith, Amy Turner, Martha Harris, and Kirsty Hanson. And we've got to those players through various discussions, but also we've asked people in our WhatsApp group, we've just asked generally. So those are the four names that were coming out for most people. So before anybody jumps in and goes, oh, why have you chosen them? Actually, those are the names that were mentioned. So we're all going to take a player. We're all going to tell you why they should win. Mark.
Okay, so I've got Hayley Ladd.
No, not for this one.
And I haven't for this one. I've got Hayley Ladd. Anyway, I've got Kirsty Smith. The reason why I think Kirsty Smith should win, she's played 12 games in total, 8 in the league, 4 in the cups. She plays either right back or left back. She's scored 1 goal against Leicester, which I thought was a great goal. She's only got a couple of bookings, which I think for a fullback actually in today's game is pretty good. But over the last few games of the WSL before we broke for the COVID pandemic, I actually thought she was one of our better players. Against Everton, I know everyone said Leah was player of the match, and I wouldn't disagree, but I thought a very close second was Kirsty Smith. I think she's obviously a Scottish international. And I think last year's season, she was in and out of the team. She obviously had Alex at left back to contend with. Martha was kind of, in my eyes, cemented at right back. So she had to fight for a place. And when she came in last season, she did well. This season, she's come in, and not only has she come in and played consistently well, she's just made towards the back end of the season the left back position her own. Yeah, and in the WSL, and this is going to be, Shane's going to like this one. In the WSL, she's got a 69% passing accuracy over all the games. There you go, Shane. So that's why I think Kirsty Smith should win.
I need to up my game here.
I know.
Yeah. And for me, I think Smith was a really good shout as well. I think, from where she was in the Championship, probably not even playing, probably people thought, is she going to survive? How long are we going to play her? But I think she's really, that's why really come on and really up the levels from where she was to where she is now. So I think it's a great suggestion. Definitely. Do you want me to start on mine?
Yeah.
I was just going to say on Kirsty Smith there, though, she towards coming up to obviously before we went into lockdown in particular, sort of Brighton away, and I know Brighton away wasn't a particularly good game, but she was one of the standouts from that game for me. I think Mark, you and I were saying in the ground at the time that she was probably the best one on the pitch for us. Game management as well it's been up there. When you're rolling off the pitch at Tottenham or rolling back onto the pitch, whichever way around, it was brilliant to see.
He was. Anything to say?
Same as the above, and I think Fiona said it there. Her game management. I know there's a different term we've used for it. So I'm not going to repeat it here. We are free watershed, and I'm aware that there may be some children watching. But the way that she does what we all wanted to in that moment. I know at Reading there were a couple of moments that she did the same thing. Yeah, bit of an obvious and an easy choice. I think you got there.
Now, do you want to do yours?
Yeah, so obviously, I'm critical of this person, but for me, I think she's up there and she's deserves this award because, she wasn't probably expecting to even play at left back. But when we went on that mad run and we were winning like 5 games in a row, she was our left back and she was bombing forward. And I think heading at home, she put in a beautiful ball for Leah to cross it in for then Kirsty Hansen to score. And people forget that it was like an outside of the foot kind of move. Games against Everton, she's shackling their wingers. That's not an easy game to play against. So it's obviously little mini Messi, Martha Harris, outstanding achievement. Like I said, I think everyone on the list is worth winning this, to be fair. And it's going to be a tough vote to see who gets it, because Tooney won it last year. I think she deserved it. I think she was a standout out of the nominations. But Martha has really come on, and it's what we've needed. We lost Alex early on, so for her to step up into that position, they're big shoes to fill. You'd have to go for Martha. She's not got her honorary goal this year, but to me, she's been that move forward. She's been pushing forward. She's been attacking. She's been strong defensively. So that's why I choose Martha. I don't know what else I can say. Mini Messi, innit? Get voting.
Ginger Cafu.
Ginger Cafu, yeah. As a fellow person who's been blessed with height, I appreciate everything you're saying. That.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Taryn. Hope you're both okay.
And Ellen.
And Ellen. Hope you're all right. For me now, I couldn't disagree. I think Martha fully deserves to be mentioned. As you said, when we went on that run from Spurs of just winning games, and she was at left back. For me, she's a choice. And the whole nominations, there's 3 defenders in there, and it just shows that defensively we've got some very good players.
I think for me, as we were coming up with this, it made me realise that there was, because the season gets so broken up due to the international breaks, I'd almost forgotten about huge chunks of the season before Christmas even, and how actually Martha made a position that wasn't even meant to be hers, her own, and looked as if she was always meant to be there. And as fans, we felt confident, and there was no worry about that position. It just felt really, really right for her to be there. And like you say, Nat, it wasn't meant to be that way. We were all thinking what's going to happen with her player, who's going to play left back. But yeah, she made it her own, and definitely deserves a shot at this one.
Shano?
So my pick, I think, as you just pointed out, Dave, obviously we've got defenders galore in here at the moment. I've gone for Amy T, or Tina, as the rest of the squad probably know her as. I think Amy was one of the ones where, come the start of the season, a lot of us were expecting to be playing second fiddle for the centre-back spot with McManus. So when she sort of started filling in at right-back almost, from the second game, I think, against Arsenal, wasn't it? And she's kind of made that position her own, and she's really adapted well. Playing all last season at centre-back, obviously you get pairing with Millie as well, you get so used to that partnership, the amount of games we played last year as well. So I think to suddenly go out as a right-back in a position that you're probably not used to playing, where there's probably got to be a bit more of an attacking mindset in it as well. She's got to get up the pitch more on the wing and get back rather than just sitting back and holding the defence down. So yeah, I've been really impressed with the way she's done it. I think her personal highlight, and I think Mark will agree with this because I think he mentioned it a few podcasts ago, was her tackle against Liverpool. When she came on at half time against Liverpool, it changed the game completely in our favour. She kind of looked like she knew what the game meant, and the game was probably lacking a little bit of it at the time. But as soon as she come on and she just ploughed in for that tackle, and it got everyone up, the whole place lifted then. And yeah, I think she's done a really good job this season.
For me, Amy T is one of my favourite players, hands down. And when she came on at the Etihad, I thought she made a difference in that game as well. She was bombing forward, and none of us had ever seen her do that. She was always steady at the back, and Yeah, for me, she made a difference in that game. But that tackle against Liverpool, the game was great. But when you heard the contact of her ball player and that boom echoed around LSV, it was great. It was just it's still up there.
You think you'd have it as your ringtone, wouldn't you? That sound, by the sound of it.
I've got it as my live wallpaper.
Just winces every time he hears it. Every time.
Flashbacks.
Because Amy's another one that made a position that wasn't meant to be hers her own. I know. I feel like I've said about 3 fullbacks, and we've got 3 fullbacks on the list tonight. But coming into the season, I wasn't sure where she was going to fit in. We never expected her to be a first-choice centre-back, so it wasn't a surprise that she had to be accommodated elsewhere. But she wasn't just accommodated elsewhere; she made that her own. And if you're going to talk about that tackle, you've got to also talk about the goal against Everton. Because to this day, I'm
genius.
He's put that ball across. And I saw the highlights a couple of days ago. It was on MUTV. And I'm still thinking that ball's going across. Just been absolute
genius.
For me, this is one of the tougher ones, because so far you've got 3 players who in each, we know you've not had your pick yet.
No.
But so far, all 3 of us could go either way. Because everyone's going to go for obviously their favourite and whatever else. But it's an interesting round. It's an interesting pick this round.
Nat, did you want to say anything about Amy too?
Yeah, you just mentioned the Everton goal. I think that stood her out as being just immense. Like, that was the right back goal, just bombing. And then when she had the chance, she just took it, and it was a great goal for it. I was just saying it's a great goal. Like you're saying, all 4 on this outstanding achievement I can vote for. There's one that stands out more in the Player of the Year, but this vote is going to be just, I just don't know. And I could say, I've got a shout for all of them. I want to give it all 4 of them. That's how much.
It's interesting as well so far, isn't it? That we've had, I think Dave, you just pointed out, obviously Amy's took right back position and made that her own. But the 2 people that we were expecting to actually be there are Kirsty and Martha. So every one of them has had to adapt to a new role. Kirsty maybe less so, because she did fill in at left back sometimes last season, but to do it for a prolonged period and that kind of a shake-up when you're used to being in a certain system or format, that's what's probably most impressive about the 3 of them, I think.
For me, I think that is a great point. All 4 of them, deserve their own vote. So what I've done is I've made 3 other Twitter accounts.
I was going to say, Nat's probably made more accounts, so she'll vote for them all later. So I made travel account, her own. We know your game. But isn't it great as well that we've got a number of candidates? We're not just looking at one obvious thing. We genuinely, and I feel I genuinely could vote for any one of them. I know we've all taken a player, but any one of them, I wouldn't think, oh no, she shouldn't win it. It's one of those that tonight.
That's why I like this award as well, because in last season, obviously Ella won it last season, but there's a lot of variety in who you can choose from, because everyone can be there for completely different reasons. And there's something unique about each one of them as to why they're there. So that's why I like this one. And it's not just about, have you scored the most goals, or, you had the most shots, or you ran the most mileage, or anything like that. We can shout Amy T out for a bike ride charity work that she did recently as well, because that was brilliant, by the way. But, like I said, everything's unique about each person that's in there, I think.
Absolutely.
Plug in your own, Shane. Yeah. Martha's done good stuff as well. She shouted us out. Oh, I just think.
Does the bike ride go along the way with a shout out, though?
No, but this outstanding achievement isn't just about, so and so's outstanding. It could be so and so's outstanding because they've got the most assists, but I think the fact that they've all had to adapt, that makes it outstanding. Deb, you've not made me one.
The moment of truth.
Yeah.
Before I jump in, though, we are going to big up Amy T for her bike ride. Good luck to the gaffer tomorrow. I think she's able to do it 100k at the moment, but depending on donations, she may have to stick another 50 or even 100k on there. My nomination isn't a fullback, or my candidate, I should say, but she's Kirsty. I've gone with Kirsty Hanson. And for me, I was interested to see how Kirsty would do this season, because I think towards the back end of last season, her level had started to drop. And this was her first season in the Super League. So I wanted to see what she could do, wanted to see what she was capable of. Looked like she'd had a really good pre-season. She'd come back ready to go. And she looked the player that we'd seen at the beginning of last season. And I think it's a great shame, not just that the season's ended, obviously, as it has, but that she was injured towards the back end of what has been this season. In fact, I know she was warming up, training, whatever you want to call it, in front of us at the Everton game. So it looked like she was ready to go. And after that international break, would probably have been getting a decent run in the team. I go back to the Tottenham game at the Hive, which I remember saying to somebody close to Kirsty that was the best game I thought she'd ever had for United. And it showed what she's capable of. And the thought of her at her best and Leah at her best just running, it's one of those that I feel really cheated that we've not had a chance to see more of it this year. I would have loved to have the back end of the season, watching the two of them. They'd both come back from injuries. They were both raring to go. We saw what Leah did at Everton, admittedly. But if we could have got the pair of them fit, confident, I think we'd have really pushed on the back end of the season. I think it was a shame she got injured when she did, but I just think that she was showing why she was brought to Manchester United and what she's capable of. Also, she made the national team this year. I know, Nat, you had plans to go out to see her in Cyprus. And I think it's a shame, obviously, that's been...
Well, it's been...
What are you saying, Nat?
It's been moved to November.
Okay.
It's been moved to November now, so...
Still going out?
Maybe. Let's see.
Happy days. For me, as much as I can sit here and I can say that I think Kirsty Hanson's got a shot at winning this, I also feel it's a shame we didn't get to see more of her. So I've kind of got a bit of an asterisk because I would have loved to have seen more of her. Shame about the injury, but I think she's shown in games this year what she can do. And for me, I love that counter-attacking football. I love it when the wingers are going. And for me, the thought of her and Leah either side, bring it on.
There was a few standout moments for me with Kirsty. One being the Spurs game, as you mentioned, and then also the Derby game against City at home in the Cup, or I should say in the Conti Cup, because we seem to play them in every single Cup competition. So just Cup doesn't quite fit the bill, does it? But no, it was, in particular in that game, that cross she put for Jess for the second goal.
Yeah.
It was on a 5-pence piece. It was brilliant. And that's what you want, and that's what Kirsty can do. And I know last season she was obviously still doing college or university work. So I know she come out and said that coming into the season, that was all done and graduated, etc. That she can focus fully now on the football. And I think, like you said, we were starting to see the product of that when she's got that full 100%, 7 days a week. Whenever they train, I'm not sure they get a day off, but it shows what she was capable of in the end. And it was promising to see her come back as well. So hopefully we'll see more of it at the start of next season, whenever that may be.
Kirsty, I think it just showed for me why she, the minute Leah went out, then she went out straight away after whoever went out first, her or Leah. We just missed them straight away, and I think that is the biggest credit. And I get where you're coming from, Deb. Wish you'd seen more of it, but the City shows she can mix it with the best. She is one of the best. We were hoping maybe to see her back, and I would have loved those 3 games that we had, we were Kerr and Leah against the top 3 again. And that's what I think we missed. I think we missed Kerr and Leah versus City that second time. We missed them, versus Chelsea at home in the semi-final, because that's where all the critique came from. And let me just shout out this moment. She had Kira Walsh, mate. She had
Get the beat button ready. Get the beat button.
Don't mess with my girl, right? Yeah, you Berties. Yeah, I'm speaking to you. Come at us.
Kirsty, for me, I agree with.
Can we just apologise for swearing?
Yeah.
But yeah, we agree.
Yeah,
it was Kira Walsh, absolutely.
It's probably for me, Kirsty, we were lucky enough, 4 of us, to be in Oslo. And the first game wasn't a great game. And I think when you look to that game, obviously it was the first proper 90 minutes they probably had since a lot of them had come back from World Cup duty or
the end of the season.
But you can look at that game and there was probably only a couple of players that you would go, yeah, they played well. Leah Galton and Kirsty Hansen at one back. At one point, they were both playing as our fullbacks.
Yeah, that's something I was going to say, that they'll both fight.
Yeah.
I mean, not talking about Leah. Sorry, Matt.
And I think as well, we are absolutely blessed to have 2 wingers with genuine pace. And as Shane said, Kirsty can cross the ball and can go exactly where you want it to go. This just proves that this nomination for this outstanding round is actually quite hard, because as Nat said, all 4 of them deserve to win it in their own right.
In some ways, I think this is a tougher one to decide than the Player of the Year. But you talk about wingers. A winger who can run is one thing. A winger who can put a ball in is another. But to find that in the same player, you and I, we're old enough to remember Giggsy. He could run all day, but couldn't always put a ball in. So you don't always get the pace and the ball and the delivery. So to find that you've got it, and she got a few goals as well this season. I know you've got your stats.
No,
I'm not
Shane, how many goals has Kirsty got?
I will do. I've got it up here.
Scored a
3
against Leicester, if I'm not mistaken.
3 goals.
3. Reading, Leicester,
Tottenham.
Yes, the first one against Tottenham, where she ended up on a backside.
I thought it was more.
Probably a few assists in there as well, I should think. I need to get on your word.
She was always an assist girl.
For me, I think this is actually a really tough round.
It is.
Really tough awards. Yeah, we agree with that, Jay.
West Ham was the other time she scored. She scored in the West Ham game.
Yeah, she scored
the early goal.
Cross in the first minute.
So
it was more than 3. Or maybe that's 3 league goals.
No, those are the 3: West Ham, Reading, and Tottenham.
Did you score against Leicester?
No.
Shane's frozen.
She didn't play it though.
I've got visions of her scoring. Anyway.
Not against Leicester, no. Lizzie scored.
No.
See, I like John's. Last season we had Millie and Amy as Nemanja and Rio. Leah and Kirsty, the next season they can beat Giggsy and Kintelskis. It's perfect.
The only thing is, I think Leah Galton, and this is crazy, Leah Galton puts a better ball in than Ryan Giggs.
Oh, controversial. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just to go through again, the nominations for the Outstanding Award are Kirsty Smith, Kirsty Hansen, Martha Harris from Nat, and Amy Turner from Shane. The vote for the Outstanding Award will open at the end of this, so go straight to our Twitter account, at BarmyArmyMUWFC. Get voting. It's open until...
We're taking it to the weekend. We're hoping to do the grand announcement beginning of next week.
So now it's time for the Player of the Year. Again, this is the big one. Last season, the Player of the Year was...
Nat's awarded it.
Nat awarded it.
Alex.
So there's big... Yeah, and she won it fairly. So the Player of the Year, the nominations are Deborah.
In no particular
order. No, not Deborah. She's not one of them. Before you
Fan of the season, maybe.
Personally, I don't think there's a problem with me being a nominee
for this.
I can only have 4 in a poll.
You could the 12th player of the season. That'll be the one.
Well, if it's 12th player, it'll be the Barmy Army.
If I genuinely took one of these players out and put my name in, how many votes would I get?
4.
None.
4? No. Actually, thank you.
Come on, we know at least one person that would vote. We know.
Yeah, sorry.
We do. No, we know an absolute cert that would vote, don't we?
Yeah, Tatch.
She's not
Come
on
on.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, anyway.
Come on.
Her name starts SH.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, in no particular order. Lauren James, Hayley Ladd, Leah Galton.
Hey.
Thank you, Fiona. And Millie Turner. So, I'm so glad somebody'd care. Anyway, right, Mark, do your duty.
So my nomination for Player of the Year, for me, I think it's nailed on. If this person doesn't win it, I'll be staggered.
Is it me?
No.
Okay.
Hayley Ladd. Hayley Ladd for me is a player that I think most of us here would agree that we were crying out for last season. She is so calm and cool on the ball. It's as if she is just playing, with a bunch of mates on the grass across the road from her house. She's played 20 games in total this season. You take away the first game at the Etihad because I don't think we saw the best of her at right back. I thought she was wasted there for that game. She's got Shane. Here it is again. The WSL passing accuracy is at 75%. And she scored, in my opinion, the best goal of the season because the celebration just for itself needed that. It was just, as John Fry has said on numerous times, and I agree with him, it was Cantona-esque. Just the whole arrived and here, it was brilliant. She also, when she has to break a play up, she does it. And she doesn't panic on the ball. She can break it, the play up, and she always makes a pass. So for me, I think it's an easy one for anyone else for Player of the Year. I think Hayley Ladd. Nailed on for me. Any arguments? No? Oh, well, there we go.
I can't argue.
Vote.
I want to say a quick thing about Hayley because last season, probably about December, we were like, we need a CDM. The gaffer was having to put Alex in there. The one thing, I think this year is more a striker, but last year it was just like, get me a central defensive midfielder, CDMFC was all over Twitter. It was just, that was a bit that was going to hold us back. And I remember I met a dad in West Ham and I said, oh my God, Hayley is what we've been waiting for. She is that puzzle piece in our midfield. I got told off by Frank because he was like, what about Millie? No, Millie's my centre back. Yeah. Hayley is the CDM. And it's just watching her, especially that City game. Oh, she was all over the park. I love it. I love to see my players. And she just does it nonchalant, not, like the celebration. It's just, I love to see them getting stuck in, and then I want to see a little bit of grafting. Hayley she gets stuck in, she'll tackle you, and she'll just walk off like it's nothing. And I
think that's one of the good things about Hayley though this season is she's gone about her business quietly to an extent, and you have to be watching her play the game to appreciate what she does. if you're just there to watch the ball move around and the ball go in the back of the net, you're not going to see what she does. If you watch the game as it's happening, you will see so much that Hayley does. And I think at times, I wouldn't say she's been underappreciated, but almost under-recognised at times because of how quietly she doesn't make a fuss about it. She gets up, intercepts the ball, pings it out to someone else. They go on, they go and create a chance, score a goal, whichever. She's done her bit. And some people, I know, do gloss over stuff like that. But if you watch the games back, you'll see how good she has been consistently as well.
Yeah. I mean, Hayley, Fiona made a really good point about Hayley. She's always aware of what's going on around her, and she's always looking around. For me, I don't want to compare her to anyone from the men's team, but I'm going to. She's got that little bit of bite that you'd like in a central defensive midfielder. So for me, she can play a pass. So people can say, she's not a Keno. She's not going to go and do that. For me, she's
break your kneecap.
Yeah, she's more like a Michael Carrick.
Yeah,
she can play a pass. She can do it. The other thing as well, which I was surprised about when I was doing my little bits of research, in the WSL, she's only got 3 yellow cards. I thought she had more.
Shane will be using his title here.
Shane's job safe. I'm not going to.
It's my week off. I'm back at work today.
I'm not going to sit there and tell you who scored all 12 goals in order, am I?
No, I mean, that would be extreme, wouldn't it? Imagine anyone knowing that. For me, I think it's an interesting position in central defensive midfield because, as Nat says, it was the piece of the jigsaw that we talked about. And we recognised that it was something that we needed going into the Super League. And she's, okay, maybe against City, obviously she didn't play in that position, but she's settled in as if she's always been there. And you don't always recognise what she does. You don't always see what she's doing because she just gets on with it. And I think,
100%.
100%. We all saw that at the same time then, I think.
And you think it's just me that's got an issue?
I like Jane.
Yeah, completely.
I like Jane.
I think for me, Hayley's just come in, gone about her job, and she does it very calmly. And I think that when she looks calm on the ball, and that seems to give out that image of calm, and it's something I'll talk about when I go on to my candidate. But
hey, lad, it's done. It's easy.
Okay, right. It's over. I'll open the poll now. No, she just does it, and you almost forget that she's there doing it. And I think she's already, just over half a season, set the bar quite high for what we expect of her. So let's hope she can build on that, because I think that what we've seen of her, that's our expectation now, and hopefully she can.
I am going to mention, and if Dave, you're still watching, this is the part where you can turn your head away. Let's not forget, we met her mother-in-law in Oslo, in Nice. Sorry,
Nice. Come on, Nat.
We're sat in the restaurant and we kind of got excited.
Picture circulating somewhere. We've never actually seen it. Of Hayley Ladd's mother-in-law and her friend with myself and Nat and the BA flag. And I have never seen that picture, but I do know, Dave is still with us, and it's one of Dave's happiest moments from when he was in Nice. I mean, I think he's used the wrong emoji there. He meant to do something celebrating. But Nat, it was all love and it started then.
She loved it. The mother-in-law loved it. I loved it. Hayley loved it, because I did see the picture that she sent Hayley, and then Hayley sent a picture back like this. I bet she just thought, who are these people? I bet she went on Google, like, Man United, Barmy Army, and then started seeing some videos come through, like, oh.
I'll just get my earplugs ready.
That's what I'm going to miss. Imagine if we had given her the award. Just how she would have been, thanks, guys. And what? That would have been it.
No, she's got to win it. She's got to win it to be able to be given it.
Natalie, let's at least pad this up a bit longer.
Okay.
So Natalie's saying vote Hayley.
No, but say my candidate would have been a bit more. Your candidate would have been a bit more. Jumped on everyone.
Yeah, I understand. If she goes up and Hayley will be very reserved. She saves it talking for the football pitch.
Either that or she'll slide tackle you.
I mean, that's a good save that now.
Yeah.
Well done.
Right. Next.
Is it me?
Whoever.
Go on.
I can see. We'll let Nat go. I can see she's itching to get this.
The one. Yeah. My nomination is the one. You can't say. I love Hayley. I love everyone on this list. I think this is a hard one as well. But let's look at this girl, man. 17 years old. Played probably 30 minutes in the Super League. She gets a start versus Liverpool. The biggest game. The largest crowd. People were saying she could have scored before the time, but it was 70-odd minutes, was it? 80-odd minutes? The ball comes in from Jess. She's in the middle of the box. The defender slides in, but she's not bothered. Flicks it onto her other foot. Bang. Goal. 1-0. Man United. First goal in the Super League. 18 years old the next day. Lauren James. It's all been, to be fair to her, she scored all our goals. She's our top goal scorer. It's all gone through her. When we had this run, it coincided with James going down the middle. You know, Ross started off up top. I know Jess has had little moments up top. We're not going to get into that today, guys. Sorry, but when Lauren's been down the middle, the things. Oh, Lauren makes you want to get kicked out. You hear me?
Yeah.
Can now.
Lauren,
I never thought I'd tell you to speak louder than that.
When you get kicked, when she came on versus Birmingham in the Conti Cup, that little back heel, no one's going to do anything like that, like Lauren, you know. And Lauren nearly got us kicked out after that game, going, "Did you see it? Did you see that back heel?" Yeah, Lauren, we saw it. Absolutely different class. Young Player of the Year for the WSL. Man United's top goal scorer, only 18. Lauren James. Right.
Just before we move on from that, was there not an ongoing bet, Nat, between you and Lauren that if she finished top scorer that you'd maybe have a change of hair colour?
Well, reminded Shane.
No, that was last year.
No. No,
no.
You were going to go blonde.
Yeah.
What game
wasn't this year. Listen. I'll go blonde if Lauren tweets me to, or WhatsApp, or Face, or Instagrams me to. Yeah. Lauren says do it. I'll do it.
There we go then.
But if you were, message Nat and tell her to go blonde.
So if anyone to tweet me or Instagram me, I'll do it.
Right.
Anyone
gets Lauren to go at Natalie under 17.
I'll give Lisa a call.
Lisa call.
For me.
Right, you're doing that. I'll jump in.
Well, you do that.
MUTV keep using that Liverpool goal for a lot of their publicity, and every time I see it, I always think of how cool she is. Because Shane, you probably got the exact timing of that goal. 70-something minutes.
71.
71, and it was a game we dominated, and it was a game that we had to win. We had to win. We had to score. That was the first thing. But that was our first big opportunity this season to get points on the board. And you could have understood at the age of 17 if she'd have lost her head and just shot the first chance she got. But the way she takes that first touch, it was the touch of a much more experienced, mature player. And it was so
intelligent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what often frustrates us with LJ is we know what she can do and we forget how young she is sometimes. And I think our expectations of her are so high because we know what she's capable of. And there's just something, her more than any other player, when she's got the ball in the box in a position where she could score, I always think she will. I don't always think that about other players on the team. Everyone wants a blonde nap, don't they?
Can we get this trending, by the way?
Yes, hashtag blonde nap. Come on.
Blonde nap, get it trending.
It'll have to be.
Remember, LJ got to ask.
Maybe.
LJ got to ask.
I tell you what, last year we had the beard. This year, you're going blonde. Oh!
Everything done. Get her to free, and I'll do it.
See, we need a
I'm not doing it.
Okay,
right. But I think with LJ, we know what she's capable of, but she keeps doing it as well. And I just hope she's with us for a long time to come.
I think for me, LJ, she's the player. She's our
elite player.
She's a player who is, as both you and Nat said, Deb, who plays above her years.
Yeah.
She scored some great goals for us, but I don't think there's any goal she'll ever score in her career that will ever be as important as that goal against Liverpool. To me, it started that run after the Liverpool game, going up until November, until we lost to Chelsea.
Can I give an honourable shout out here for one of her goals this year that probably will get forgotten about? But Shane, you and I had a hell of a time celebrating it. West Ham away.
Yeah.
I don't think you and I have lost it as much as we did at that point.
It was on par with the Liverpool goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
think
think
if we'd have been behind the goal for that Liverpool one, it would have been
because
on par with that.
I think it's because we had a bit of space to run, but there's something about when she's been on the pitch, she just gives us a different look. We've got the tweet going. Tweet's going, Nat. Blonde Nat. Hashtag blonde Nat.
I always hate that West Ham game for multiple reasons, but one of the more, for me being who I am, the one reason I absolutely hate it is because it's the only game that Lauren scored that we've not won. Up until that point, she scored, and then in my head, I'm going, yeah, we've won this now. Lauren scored, we've won. Then we lost, and it's like, no, like, the world's ending now. Lauren hasn't. What's going on? So annoying.
I mean, terrible game.
Just the thing about that goal as well. But there was a goal, and it only started when she came on. That's how influential she is to our team. That's when the wheels started churning again. That's when you saw a bit of creativity, a bit of spark, and then boom, she scored. But unfortunately, we couldn't keep our heads. But nothing. She did everything that she had to do. Even the Brighton game, awful game, awful. Who scored the goal? Lauren. That's why you vote for my G.
Technically, it was no goal.
Big up here.
There's 40.
I'm going to nitpick.
Out of my G. Now
scored the thing, mate. Yeah.
Sorry, I've just got to go on Twitter.
Yeah.
My G. Just because I think some things.
Everyone seems to be retweeting it.
Anybody wants to come on.
Mate.
Anyway, so we'll just Shane while they're going there to Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, that's considering what shade of blonde she's going to dye her hair.
Do you want to do your name?
I'm not going to do it.
Yes, well, we will stick with the blonde theme because my pick that I'm throwing forward is Leah Galton. And
or grey is
let's never go over that again. But no, I think if anybody has watched any game this season, you'll understand why Leah has to be in these nominations. She was always going to be in with the shout with the way she was performing. I think if I had to be nitpicky, it would be she needs to score more goals. But she maybe would have done that had she not got injured. But even without the goals, her work rate, her ability, her effort on the pitch, she's got it all. As you pointed out, you know, she's got the pace. She runs down the wing. She can put a ball in the box. I lost count how many times versus Liverpool in that second home game. How many times she was getting in those positions where she's putting the ball in the box, and it's either the runner's not meeting it, or you know the chance goes over. She's so creative. Yeah, it's sometimes leaves you a bit speechless because she's that good at what she can do. I think one big highlight you've got to look at is actually when she was injured, is how much we missed her. That to me says everything about what she's capable of. Is that her missing out of that squad had such a massive impact, and not in a good way, because we did miss her, and if we'd have had her for certain games, we'd all say on paper, you know, we'd have won it if we'd have had her, because she'd have had that creativity. I don't think I've seen her do much bad this season at all. And I'm not about to go and start looking for anything bad either.
For me, as much as I hope Hayley Ladd wins, because that was my nomination. If Leah wins, I get it. There's no argument. She's different class down that left-hand side. Different class. And again, going back to Oslo, there wasn't a lot of highlights, but she must have played 4 or 5 positions that game. She started on the left wing. She was at right back. She was at left back. I know she played centre back for a few minutes, and then she was into the middle of the park. The only position I don't think she played that night was goalkeeper. She is, as much as Lauren James is our elite player, Leah Galton is not far behind, and we are true. I think we are truly blessed to have some absolute quality talent.
You like being truly blessed tonight, don't you?
I am truly blessed.
You spent 10 weeks in lockdown with me. You wouldn't have thought he had that capacity. I think it's worth mentioning at this point. This with Leah, Lauren Leah. It's not such a surprise in as much as if we were to have had an award for Player of the Season just for the second half of last season, she'd have probably won that at a canter. She was starting to pick her form up second half of last season. Absolutely, when she's out, that's when you know she's irreplaceable. We don't have someone that can come in and do the same job to the same standard. And when we talk about standard, we can quibble over the semantics here, but this is an international standard winger. Okay, the only thing that's missing is the actual physical cap, but we all know that that was a choice. And we've seen the best of Leah for some time. Back end of last season, she hit the ground running this season. Again, when she's been injured, that's when we've realised how much we've missed her. But it's one of my favourite sights in football when you've got a winger running. I talked about it before with Kirsty Hansen, and for me, the thing with Leah is that ball. You know it's going to be quality. I talked before about Ryan Giggs. As great a player as Giggsy was, the ball he put in often wasn't befitting what he'd done before it. But with Leah, she'll run, she's direct, and if she puts that ball in, you know it's going to be dangerous. And she's scoring more as well this season. So there's so much in me that actually feels like we've been cheated out of seeing some of these players. And especially the way that, I completely agree. Completely agree.
Brilliant.
We've all said, we're United fans first and England fans whenever there's a freebie for that. But I want our girls fit for United. If they get to play for England, great, nice for them. But I want them fit for United. And if I have the choice between seeing Leah play for England, as much as I think it'd be great for her, I'm also a bit selfish. And I just want her to be fit for United because I think she has to manage her fitness. And I hope that long term she can get on top of that. And she looks happy. She looks like she's enjoying the football. I think that's a big thing for her. And again, like I say, just feeling cheated that she was coming back when this has happened. And we saw what she did, not even fully fit against Everton. And if again, we talked about when she's injured, there's no one to replace her. When she left that game, we were 3-0 up. Within a matter of minutes, we conceded twice. Now, okay, she's a winger, she's not a defender, but the outlet isn't there without her.
It's the presence of being there, isn't it?
Exactly. And she puts fear. She's one of those players now, I think, who might be putting fear into opposition defences, particularly on the back of 2 goals, as she had been in that game. You know, the more I talk about this, the more I think I could justify any one of these players, and I've not even got round to mine yet.
Well, it's lucky for you. I've got 3 extras.
To round the Leah discussion off, I know Nat has a particularly favourite phrase that she literally screamed in Leah's face at that Everton game.
Me?
I'll let of course you.
Yeah, you.
Natalie,
You basically said, Natalie, that Leah had the defenders on toast.
Oh, yeah, on toast. And I know that little girl, that little Everton girl, that Esme Morgan. I know her. She's decent player.
Decent toast, then.
Centre back, but mate, I can't believe it. And just when she came back, Leah, and you're thinking, oh, God, Everton. Oh, God. And you think Leah's in the team, you're like, yes. But then when you saw her start running, I just couldn't believe it. It made me realise, because like you say, it's been building this since when we went to Boreham Wood in January, and I saw her and I said, she's going to tear it up. Yeah. She's going to tear up the Super League. And we didn't win that game. And, you know, there was times where you thought this and that, we need this, we need that. But Leah was a consistently good player in that game back in January. And it just carried on. Then there was the break. Then Oslo and all that wasn't that good. Hell, they lost to Everton in the pre-season. But then as soon as it started again, Leah at the Etihad, amazing. Leah versus Arsenal, amazing. And then Liverpool came, boom, her and LJ were bouncing off each other, you know. And I think that gave her the confidence. Bang, Spurs gave her the confidence. City, just... Casey always says it. She loves to say it, Casey. I love Casey when she says this. The best in the world, the best fans, the best everything. But that's what she says about Leah. You are the best winger. Easy. Yeah. And I said to Leah, listen to the gaffer, you know, when she says it, because you listen to her when she says the best fans, so listen to her when she says it about you. It's the truth. You know, and people were like, oh, United, they're not going to do anything. Oh, Leah Galton, who is she? We don't know her. Listen, I knew her, right? And I said, watch, and it's happened, mate. Yeah.
Stato, how many goals this year for her?
Leah, 4. 2 against Brighton, 2 against Everton. But you'd think there would be more with the performances she's given. I remember looking at it recently, and I was sort of like, have I missed some goals out here? But she's created so much, and I think that's the benefit.
That I'd give her that goal against Spurs. I'd just give her it. Just that's her goal. I know it was an own goal. That what's her face, whoever Neville.
You didn't say take it off feeling Gary's adopted
me,
sister.
That drive, mate. Ain't no one else doing that.
She deserves the goal for that touch. That first touch she made in that Tottenham game.
Yes.
Because that touch was insane.
This is something I know we've talked about with players, that when you've got those wingers running, you need somebody who's got that pace in the middle. Well, there's a third player I can't pick between, so...
Well, it's your nomination now.
Yeah. Mate, it's dead simple. It's dead easy. Can be dead quick. The Rolls Royce of defenders. Cool, calm, collected. The only member of our back 5 who's kept their position from last season, if they stayed on, or started this season. Millie Turner. What was that face for?
I'm just carrying on.
I think Millie was unfortunate not to win the Player of the Year last season that the club did. She was one of the shortlisted, along with Katie, and remind me who quick was it? Leah? Might have been the three that were shortlisted.
I think it was,
yeah. Okay.
Leah, Katie, and Millie. Yeah.
Okay. For me, what I love to see in a defender is calmness. It just transcends throughout the whole of the defence, because I think that's one area where you need to feel confident. If you want to have that bit of energy and a bit of excitement, have that running forward. But for me at the back, and we've talked about the fullbacks tonight, so she's had different fullbacks than she's used to. She's had a different central defensive partner this season and a different keeper behind her. But her level hasn't dropped. My only disappointment, and I have to say this, and it's from watching the highlights of the Everton game at Southport earlier. I watched the highlights. How many chances did she need to score? There were at least 2 headers that she should have buried right in front of us. But I think Millie's one of those that she's got a level, she's got a standard, and there's almost a sense that we expect her to just do that every game. We expect her to get that. And Ellen, I absolutely agree. She doesn't drop from that. She gives you the confidence. She's not a shouter necessarily that we can hear. She's not demonstrative. She's not one of those that screams at players, but she just looks confident. And I know that when she first came to us, she was actually listed as a midfielder, more of the central defensive midfielder. I think that Hayley Ladd was supposed to be playing. But you can see she's got the ease, absolutely. She's got the ease of being able to step out with the ball and being able to play the ball. And she's the only one of the 4 who's ever won the captain's armband. We were all there for it. Not the best game. But...
the 4 in this nomination?
No, the 4 of us were there for it. Out of the 4 in this nomination, sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to contradict me there?
No.
You want to know, aren't you? No one's so. I think you'll actually find you're wrong. I am. So be it. But Millie Turner, I think Nat and I had this conversation. We thought she was one of the players on a short list for captaincy this season. Don't think it would have been a surprise to many of us. I understand that there were reasons Katie was given the captaincy, and that's probably more to do with her communication inside the dressing room, also on the pitch. Absolutely fine, because the expectations we all have of Millie are that she's pretty much, I know that record's gone this year, Shane, I've been an ever-present, but her level is just so consistent. And you know what you're going to get. And I think she's shown up other players just by doing what we all know she can do. So there you go. It's going to be really quick, really simple. Vote Millie Turner.
What I will say, I love MT. Big MT. Turner's, my G's, but she's a defender, innit? And that's why I'd have, and I know Jack, I can see Jack in there, Jack the lad. He's going to vote for my G as well, Lauren. But listen, Millie, for me, my centre-back, heads and shoulders. There's no questions to say about Millie and being that centre-back, being that one. I mean, Abby, I think she's great, good for us and all this, but Millie is the centre-back, yeah. Period.
Let's face it, Millie can be on this shortlist purely for stepovers and Cruyff turns. That's enough to get Millie Turner on any nomination list.
Shane, I'd put Millie Turner on any list, no matter what. I mean, regardless of if she didn't play a single game, I'd still be nominating the squad.
But for me, you said it in your little talk about Mill, and Ellen. Torren has said that. Ellen said it. Millie has it all. She scores
occasionally,
but she's a scoring centre back.
I think she should score more.
Yeah, but for me, it's her calmness. She is a Rio Ferdinand for me. She can play the ball out from the back. She's strong as well when she has to be. again, for me, it's a really tough one. And I think in this category, and I think Fiona said it in the comments, they're all fan favourites. You can actually go around LSV or wherever we are and see people wearing shirts for most of them.
We know this as nothing else from the badges.
Yeah.
We sell badges for all four of these. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And we know that those badges are the popular ones. People like these players. They like them as people as well, not just because, you do this or you do that, but this is, getting to know them as people. We think we know them as people. They are popular players, and actually, I think this one could be.
I think this could be a tight call. James getting the badge.
It's all going to be tight. I will say as well, just one little thing. Imagine the scenes if Millie scored at Southport in front of us. Oh, baby.
Yeah, fair point.
Missed that one.
The scenes, mate, should have dived in.
Mary was closest, to be fair. There we go.
I see you, Jay.
We have the call.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's your one, Deb.
Oh, got one just here, Shane. It never leaves me.
It doesn't.
It's clearly between these two, isn't it, this row?
I can't see the other one.
No, it's Leah and...
It's Leah and Millie.
No, Hayley Ladd. Let's not forget Hayley Ladd. Right?
I do have to say at this point, actually. It's only fair. I've always said, okay, Shane, I made a point to you, I made a point between the four of us before that if you can't see your favourites' errors, then you can't be good respect. And I have one glaring issue with Millie. And Millie, I love you, but you're a bitter.
You've dropped it there.
She wears 21. Sorry, Mill. That's the one downside. Other than that, vote Millie Turner.
Dropped her in there.
I see you, Jack. She's not a bitter anymore.
No, she's not.
She's one of them. Yeah. She's not just a red, she's a madhead.
She's one of them. Yeah. She is the queen of madheads.
Right.
But get voting, guys.
Right.
So,
should we do it live? Should we actually...
So we're going to...
Let's get it live.
This feels really like Eurovision, doesn't it?
Yeah. We'll come back in.
The lines are now open.
If you voted beforehand, you'll be charged, but the votes won't go in.
Okay, so achievement, you've got, just to remind you, Kirsty Smith, Amy Turner, Martha Harris and Kirsty Hanson.
Kirsty Smith, guys, it's easy. Come on.
Yeah, not really. Feel free to vote for Kirsty Hanson. There we go. That one's gone out.
Amy T doesn't need me to fight her battles for her.
And the biggie, player of the season. Unfortunately, it's not been a full season, but cast your vote for Millie Turner or Leah Galton, Hayley Ladd, or
Hayley
Lauren
Ladd, guys,
James.
come on.
Off we go.
So go to our Twitter account at Barmy Army MUWFC. Get voting. The poll is open until
the weekend,
Sunday night, and we will announce the winner via our socials sometime on Monday.
I'm just telling you that Leah Galton's already in the lead.
Well, that's because you've got 55. You've got 55 accounts. Statman Train and that one.
Honestly,
no, let me just say
today it was Train Spotter Shane.
Oh God!
No, not even Train Spotter. Sorry,
Weatherspoon Spotter. Weatherspoon Spotter, more like.
Let me just say, if I had 8 awards, I'd give them all.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'd give them an award for Fan of the Year to you. Max. Yeah. Maybe that's the next thing. We'll have to make up for the lack of games. Having fan of the season. We've all got to come out and do a little video. I think I should be Fan of the Year because I've went to lots of games. So, yes,
If I win fan of the season, I will take my cap off.
I see, you're just upping the ante. That's like not saying, I'll go blonde if you let me win. What can he say? I'm sorry, but what can
so voting closes Sunday, guys, and when it's safe for us all to be at games again, as like last year, we will be presenting the winners of both awards with a trophy. Maybe, I don't know if we ask really nicely again at pitchside, but if not, we'll just do it outside in the car park because that's where we all hang out anyway.
That's the kind of classy.
That's how classy we really are.
Back next week?
Back next week with we're going to talk about the new signings that came in last season. So I think I'm back again for that one with maybe John Foster and someone else. Yeah. Don't forget, guys, Nat's got on her channel tomorrow night, her MU Women podcast as well. Watch that. It's worth watching. If you want to get involved with our Social Sunday, send us a message. We'll let you get the link into you and just come and have a chat. Other than that, stay safe, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.